In the state of New York, off the island of Manhattan, sits a place that played host to many of the world's seekers, dreamers, and escapees.
All the town knew we were going to America, and they were all excited for us that we were going to America.
I can remember my last day in school in Holland. I was paraded around the school as the young boy who was going to America.
We came because we were afraid. And when you come right down to it, we were the lucky ones because we got out alive.
They came from everywhere with very little, but what they lacked in personal possessions, they made up in abundant hopes for a better life in the promised land.
We came with nothing, we left nothing, we had nothing. And what we came to was a treasure itself. We'd be a family united again, we could live again.
Over 12 million embarked on the arduous journey that could last from a few long days to several stormy months.
It was a miserable condition, but they were shipping cattle from Europe to America. They were two-legged ones, human cattle.
Over a 62-year period, they entered the harbor. Their first sight was the well-known symbol that embodied the spirit of their new home.
I was very happy when we was coming to see Liberty. Everybody clapped their hands and said, "That's America, this is Liberty."
Oh, it was exciting. Everybody cheered, America! America, my God, everybody's yelling, crying, kissing, and who can remember? You weren't aware that this was a historical moment, but it was.
When they finally disembarked, it was here they took their first step on American soil. It was here they hoped to pass through the Golden Door. It was here a small island would become a legendary landmark. Here was Ellis Island.
I remember my father putting his arms around my mother and the two of them standing a while and crying. And my father said to my mother, "You're in America now, and you have nothing to be afraid of, but nothing at all."
4 out of every 10 Americans can trace their ancestry to the people that came through Ellis Island. It is a shrine to those who came to America in search of a better life.
Ellis Island carries with it a kind of symbolic baggage that other places don't carry, in part because one of our main national symbols and monuments is located right next to it.
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free.
We heard this tremendous rumble, so my father and I ran out to the deck, and there were people of all denominations, some on their knees making the sign of the cross, Jews in their prayer shawls. As we were passing the Statue of Liberty, it was the first time I saw it. It was a great sight.
The Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. I mean, those two things went together. And then for the people who came here, obviously, Ellis Island was a gateway. They got in. But it was a frightening place because it was also known that this is where you really got looked at.
From 1892 until 1954, Ellis Island was America's principal immigration station. It was located in the harbor of the country's busiest commercial port. For many shipping companies, Ellis Island was the place to offload their human cargo. Here, millions of immigrants began their new lives.
You could come through in Boston, you could come through actually through Halifax, you just come across the border. You could come through Philadelphia, you could come through Baltimore, you could come through Charleston, New Orleans, Galveston. But the overwhelming constant about immigration in the 19th century is that it is New York.
By the beginning of the 20th century, thanks to visiting relatives and letters home, New York was known throughout the world. It was described as the incredible city that possessed all kinds of big buildings. For many, New York was the heart of America, and Ellis Island was the gateway there. By the middle of the 20th century, 75% of all those who wanted to turn their dreams into a reality had come into the country right here.